Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Johnny Vlogs. It's me, Johnny, or John as I go by nowadays. I used to be called Johnny much more when I was a kid. My father was John also. In this edition, I'm asking you, do you believe in ghosts? As I'm sure you can tell if you look at the type of content I've put out, I am somewhat open-minded to ghosts. Although I have talked about in a few videos that the shows that I like to watch, I love watching Ghost Adventures, I like watching Ghost Hunters, I like kind of the experience of searching for this information that those shows go on. However, I have not really seen super compelling evidence from any of those shows about the true existence of ghosts. I've seen some great episodes where some weird stuff has happened, but it's not always enough to make me buy exactly what they're selling. Also worth noting, in a video that I had done, I think on the disappearance of Brandon Lawson, people thought that they might have seen an orb at one point in that video. And I took a look at the footage, and I can tell you that when you have 3 cats, there is cat hair everywhere, and occasionally it will float around. And a lot of the orbs that I see, that type of footage, to me seems like it is some type of particulate floating in the air that is out of focus. It's just too close to the camera for the camera to focus on it properly. So that being said, I still do believe in spiritual energy, and it's hard for me to say that I don't believe in ghosts because of a specific experience that I had when I was a kid. And that's what is tough about this too. This memory, for me, it's one of my earliest memories, and I don't believe my parents were home. I was in the living room, and my aunt and uncle lived right across the street. So even from me being very, very young, my parents would go visit with my aunt and uncle for a little period of time, and then come back, and I would be allowed to stay home and watch TV or do whatever I wanted to do. And I had a great grandmother that I probably only met, that I can recall, a few times, and I always thought she was kind of stern. She had this look about her like she would be like a mean school teacher or something. I don't remember her ever smiling. Her husband, I have a lot of great memories of. My great-grandfather, he would frequently get me to dish the family gossip to him, and he would give me either candy or cash, straight up cash for doing so. But his wife, very few memories. She died when I was really young. And I recall being in the living room watching TV while my parents are away, and seeing something out of the corner of your eye. That's how this always happens, right? There was a hallway to the right of this living room, and I remember seeing a figure standing in that hallway. And the weird thing about this story is I actually turned to look directly at it, and I swear to God, as I recall it, I saw my great-grandmother. And like I said, it's strange to me because I wasn't particularly close to her. I mean, they lived in the same state, but I didn't see them a whole lot. And I can't say that she noticed me looking at her, but almost like it was a piece of film, she just looked to the right and started walking down the hallway. And what else was strange about this memory for me was I was not really scared. I actually got up and went towards the hallway and looked around the corner to see where she went. And in the direction she went, there was 2 bedrooms. One was my parents' bedroom, and the other was my bedroom. And she basically walked towards my bedroom, and I couldn't find her. So I don't even remember if I've told my parents about it. But like I said, the whole thing was so strange. It's just, I wasn't scared. It was weird that I looked right at her. I've had several experiences in my life where you think you see something out of the corner of your eye and you turn your head and it disappears. Or I don't know if you're mistaking some other object for being that thing, but this definitely was not that type of case. So I don't know. It's very hard for me. At this point in my life, I even have doubts about like well, did you put that memory together for some reason? Was there some reason that you were having to convince yourself that you saw her at that period of time? Like I said, I never really told anyone about it, so I don't know that there was any benefit to me trying to engineer a memory like that. But being this late in life and looking at memories that early, it's very hard for me to either prove or discount it. I really, and that's kind of where I am with all these topics. That when I look at them, I'm kind of in the middle of the road. I'm very open to the fact that those types of things can happen, but I'm still looking for that hard piece of physical evidence that they actually do. Now, spiritually and in terms of energy and stuff, I really believe that we do influence each other in ways that we don't understand, that each of us does carry a special type of energy signature. I don't think that ever goes away. I think when we do die, that it might go to a different part of existing in a different manner. It's not quite us in this shell anymore. But does that manifest as pictures of this shell? I don't know, but I've told you my personal experience on it. That's about as close as I've ever had to some kind of proof, one way or the other. I did have another thing a little bit later in life, when I was about 20, and I was going through a little bit of a tough period. The company that I was working for was purchased by another company, and I decided, they kind of gave me the option to stay with the new company or take a severance package, and I took the severance package because I really wanted to get to Hollywood. And I remember at one point I was pretty desperate after a couple of weeks. I mean, I thought it was going to be easy to get a job at one of these major studios. And a resume I had actually sent 6 months prior was kicking around at 20th Century Fox, but I didn't know that yet. And I just remember being very desperate and falling asleep and having this dream about my grandmother at that time. Not my great-grandmother, but my mom's mom, who I was extremely close with, spent summers with, and she was definitely an amazing woman. And I remember having a dream where she was telling me everything's going to be okay, and when I woke up, I looked at the side of the bed, and I could swear that she was there, and then it dissipated pretty much as quickly as my eyes were focusing on it. And then all of a sudden, a day later, I got the call from 20th Century Fox that they wanted to meet with me. So it's kind of weird. Once again, it gives me this feeling that there is something to that energy. I know when I've been in other hard times in my life that I frequently try to get in touch in some way with the energy of people that have left. You know, my grandmother. I had a great uncle that I was very close to also. And recently, actually, a couple years ago, I'm actually looking at a picture of him right now, a therapist that I had seen for many, many years, and he was a very, very close part of my life. His name was Steve Moore, passed. And I definitely feel that there's times where his energy is still buzzing around. It's weird. There was this thing about hummingbirds that kind of would keep coming up, and now, you know, hummingbirds will pop up frequently. I mean, I know it's a little bit popular in terms of, you know, tattoos and stuff like that, but literally hummingbirds will all of a sudden buzz by my back door, and it's kind of cool and just helps key me back into that energy of those feelings. And I do think that is residual from the person that was actually here, that actually brought that energy into this world. So that's where I'm at on it. Don't ask me about heaven and hell. That's for a whole different Johnny Vlogs. Maybe I'll crack out some of my old stand-up material about how the devil should upgrade his image and drop the pitchfork and, you know, use some better farming equipment or lawn care equipment like a lawnmower or something. But that's it. That's where I am. Ghosts, I don't know, but something residual being left behind, I have a fairly strong feeling that there is something to that. And I can't really say that there aren't ghosts because of these few experiences that I've had. That it's strange because the logical part of the logical part of my brain is still extremely critical when I look at those memories, but I can't quite refute them. And I can't quite support them in some weird way. once again, unbiased John, just kind of in the middle, looking for more data and trying to get a better conclusion to those questions. So this is where I pass it over to you guys. Please tell me about your thoughts and feelings on this, maybe experiences that you've had. That's what the comments below are for, so we can share all this. And who knows, maybe there's a piece of information you'll give me that helps me put this puzzle together, or vice versa. If nothing else, I hope that you enjoyed hearing about these very private stories. I didn't know if I would ever vlog about something like this, but as there's more of you out there that are being so supportive about the channel and about my work in particular, it's becoming easier for me to open up about some of these other areas of my life. So I really, really appreciate that. And by the way, the support on the Happy Birthday Brain Scratch video was off the charts. I read every single comment that's been posted there. Thank you guys so much. It felt like this huge outpouring of support and love, and I just want to make sure that I'm giving that back to you guys, because I am feeling it very, very strongly after the response to that video. And thank you for recognizing what we're doing here and for really understanding my intent in doing this type of content. It's not about exploiting people. It's not about exploiting these stories. It's about us looking at them together to see if there's something that we can learn from what these people have gone through. And in this case of Searchlight, I hope and pray. I know we're doing a good job in terms of raising awareness, but I hope and pray, and I'm waiting for the day that we hear that something we did on Searchlight helps one of these cases progress in some way. That is just going to completely light me up inside, and you guys are a huge part of that. None of this works without you. So I almost forgot, this is a new little feature I'm going to add into JohnnyVlogs for any time a new Patreon supporter comes on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And right now I have to thank Courtney Parker. Thank you very much, Courtney. Sarah Abramovitz, hope I'm saying that right. Abramovitz or Abramovitz? I think it's Abramovitz. Sarah, thank you, thank you, thank you. I truly, truly appreciate it. Casey Jane, thank you so much, Casey. It's great talking to you in the comments, and I really appreciate you supporting my work. And Ty, T-A-I, Craven, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank each and every one of you. I really, really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, and I appreciate you guys helping me continue all this madness and raising awareness to these stories that we all believe and know in our hearts are so important and should be discussed and shared. So thank each and every one of you. Hope you've enjoyed this Johnny Vlogs. Tune in for another show on the Geek and Dorks channel tomorrow. Take care.